How's it going, guys? We're working on the Z again today. We're going to do some work on the suspension, finishing it up with these suspension tension rod bushings, and then we're going to jump back over to the engine, get the engine all put back together so it can get ready to put back in the car. So I'm going to go ahead and start by installing these brackets. These guys are the ones that we painted a couple weeks ago, and they hold the tension rod bushings in. They might look a little bit different if you have a later year model. This is for 84 through 87, like first half of 87. I think I am missing the bolts for the sway bar, so we're going to have to figure out what those are and then get replacements, or I have a bunch of, just hardware from this, so we'll see what they are. They're probably the same M10 as those ones there. But so I'm going to go ahead, we're going to jack this up, get underneath it, and start installing all this tension rod stuff. Alright guys, so here we are under the car, and it's a bit tight, but you can see here's our bracket, here's the tension rod going through it, and then we have 2 bolts in the front here, and then 1 bolt right here, and then there's also 2 right there for the sway bar, but we don't have the sway bar on right now. And then this tension rod comes up to the control arm and bolts through those 2 right there. So what I did is I just kind of got this in here, got the bolt started, and then left it loose, because you kind of got to get those guys kind of wedged into the control arm, so you kind of got to push it and pull it a little bit, try to get it in. But once you do that, I'm going to go ahead and tighten these guys down, and then we can go ahead and tighten up the rest of this. Alright guys, so I went ahead and pulled up the Xenon Z-Car factory service manual reference, and you can see this is the bracket we're working on right here. This is the torque values that it has, so this is the little torque value symbol, and then it's got 3 numbers. We're going to go to the bottom corner, we're going to see it's Newton meters, kilogram meters, and then foot-pounds. So foot-pounds is the last one, 22 to 29 foot-pounds. So that's what we're going to torque these bolts to. The tension rods, you can see, we'll follow this up here and then down there. That one's 31 to 40. This front nut here is 33 to 40 right there. So that's how you're going to read one of these service manuals. I went ahead and started torquing, and I don't know if I can see, if you guys can see this all that well. It started stripping the bolts. Like, this is really, really bad. It was to the point where I wasn't getting any more resistance. The bolt just started kind of going at the same resistance as I was torquing it harder and harder. I knew it was stripping, but I was trying to figure out why. So I don't know if it's the bolts that are bad or if it's the torque wrench that I'm using. I'm probably going to get new ones at both just to be sure. These bolts should be M10s. 22 foot-pounds should not be that much for them. Yeah, so sad days that these threads stripped. The threads in the car, only one of them look a little bit bad, and I think it's from pulling this out, having the threads all messed up on it. The other one looks fine, so I'm going to go ahead and get new bolts, probably a new torque wrench, and then hopefully we'll be able to torque these up when those come in. But for now, it's just going to sit there and chill. So, unfortunate for that. Let's go ahead and grab some pieces for the engine, and then we're going to go ahead and paint those. Alright guys, so I grabbed this rear upper timing cover and painted it last night. It looks really, really good in this gloss black. Again, I'm just using this roll bar and chassis paint. It's coming out pretty good. I realized this morning as I was about to grab this and go over to start putting it on the engine, I need a torque wrench to do pretty much everything on the timing component side. And I don't trust the torque wrench I have anymore since it was stripping those bolts. So I ordered a new one. It's a nice digital one. I'll showcase it next week when it gets in. But I don't have it this week, so I think this is probably going to call the episode, this week's episode, to an end, because I don't have anything else to do other than torquing a bunch of stuff down. So unfortunately, that's going to be it for me. As always, guys, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. I will answer them. And hopefully next week we get to see some pretty cool stuff going back on the engine. I got this really cool harmonic balancer that I've been waiting to put on, but I haven't had a chance because the engine needed its timing covers painted and put back together. So fingers crossed we'll get that. I might look into getting the front timing covers powder coated. We'll see. I like the gloss black because it's a very stock look, but I kind of like wrinkle black a lot more, just because it's going to kind of not show oil stains and stuff as much. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. So stay tuned for next week, guys. Keep your eyes out on the channel. I'm working on the transmission swap right now. We'll jump over a sneak peek. So this is the CD09 transmission that I picked up. You can see I cut the front bell housing off. That is the JWT adapter plate. We're going to be swapping that front plate on and adapting this Z32 bell housing onto it. So that is super cool. Looking forward to it. But that is pretty much it, guys. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you guys next week. And hopefully you can really knock some good stuff out and get this project back on track.